Well, I'm afraid to pause that for very long. In fact, I'm not gonna pause it. I'll lower the volume. And I'm lowering the volume on my phone, and you're like, why is he lowering your phone? He's playing off his computer, right? So the computer is playing a volume phone. So this is the E1DA fully digital headphone PowerDAC V2 made in China. And on the back of it, behind this very mirrored finish, as shown off quite well in the thumbnail for this video, is the display showing how this is all put together with a very basic diagram. And so here is, it's very, very nice to see something like this for this cheap. I'm linking to it probably on AliExpress. I just went searching. I don't see it like on Amazon or any other like normal retailer. You're gonna have to go to AliExpress. You're gonna have to give them your credit card and you have to wait, I don't know how long. But let me explain what the principles behind the PowerDAC are real quick. When you get a DAC and then an amp, you have a DAC. It takes a digital signal, it converts it to analog, it slightly amplifies it to 2¼ volts, which is what RCA carries. XLR is a little bit more, it's like 6 volts. And you pass it onto an amp that then puts current behind it. So you have more voltage, more amperage. So you get a little baby amp in a DAC. Every DAC's got a little baby amp in it. And then you've got a big amp that you power your actual headphones with. So the concept is, what if you didn't have 2 amps? What if you had 1 amp? What if you just went from the digital to analog converter, and instead of amplifying up to line level, you just said fuck that and went straight up to the actual ability to power things. So that's what this do. And it's a little box, and it's very, very shiny. So shiny. And aluminum on the outside, rather warm. I wouldn't want this in my pocket. You would think at this size it would be more suited for a portable application. However, that's USB-B. That's the full size. And excuse me for not pulling it out during this because I've had some issues getting it to recognize. Windows seems to have recognized it fine. Even Windows 7 here, I may have had to find some sort of driver. I did it months ago. The problem lies that it's only 2.5mm balanced. That's problem number 1. There's a couple little caveats. I'm going to start off by saying this thing sounds amazing, and I'm probably going to keep a short USB A to B wire in my bag, and then I'm going to have to figure out which headphones I could permanently bring with me with 2.5mm, because it sounds absolutely as clean and wide. It's exciting. It feels like a high-end amp. I have a stack of amps here. Well, that's a DAC and an amp, and that's just a volume control, and that's another one. And it feels as exciting as those. It feels more exciting than the cleanliness of like a AAA 789, a little portable. It's got something to it, some warmth and some depth. And then you're like, okay, but why would I deal with all this shit, Zeos? And tell me about that app you were playing with earlier. So you plug this in, it comes up 24,192, I think is what it's set to. You plug in a balanced headphone, and that's the thing, I can't try my Neumanns on it. I can only try headphones that have the ability to plug in balance. So 600s, these are the Heisman Sundara, I like those. And I have these wires set up so I can switch between them, it's great. 600 milliamps at 15 ohm, that's pretty good. That's why it's so hot. That's why it requires this full-size USB cable. They're trying to warn you away from putting on a phone. You can put it on a phone. Here, I'm going to go to the actual, this is the AliExpress page, and it has all the things listed and all the total harmonic distortion numbers. They're not THX levels of total harmonic distortion. We're looking at 0.01. That thing is like 0.00001. So I mean, it's still good numbers, signal to noise ratios, frequency responses, PWM at 384 kilohertz, passive LC demodulation, balanced output, 2.5mm jack, 5mm shaft stopper. Like things like that. You just go to this page and you can read all about it. Read all about it. What's interesting, well, we're going to talk about this cable for a second, because again, I said this feels like it should be a portable thing. Like you should be able to take your phone, oh, and have a little thing, oh, and it works great. But it's USB-B. And this is the cable it comes with if you get it with the OTG cable, which is just a full-size USB cable for a battery pack, then a USB-C cable for your phone, then a female that you would then plug a standard USB cable into to use this on your phone, because this thing needs the power. It's not internally powered. It doesn't have its own battery. It's sucking from the USB line right now. And it's weird because there's an app, the HP Toy app, headphone toy app. And it's pretty good. I like it. This is a shining example of what could be if someone other than E1DA got hold of this sort of technology. Own, my X1S over there, that's a new anniversary edition. Can I load the app for the Own X1S on my phone and then control equalization? No. No, I can't. In fact, I can't think of anything that does that. Not even the newest things, not even like the FIO stuff. Not the Monoprice or the THX or anything. If you know of devices that do what this can do, that aren't this thing, you tell me. Because you plug this little thing in, it's getting powered and signaled from my computer, my laptop here. It's output into my headphones there. And then at the same time, it's got an active Bluetooth. And that Bluetooth is connected to my phone. And that phone is right here. And the phone's got a little app called HP Toy. And in here, I can control the volume in tenths of a decibel increments. Cool. Bass and treble controls, which work exactly as you'd expect them in decibels, plus or minus 12 decibels. And you hit the info button. Classical hi-fi knob implemented with shelving filters. Oh, cool. Then you get a loudness control. And it's got loudness, wet, dry, and then the loudness frequency. Now, wet and dry is a term they use in a lot of like the higher end, well, commercial gear. When something's wet, you're applying something. When it's dry, you're not. And you could change the loudness frequency. So loudness, I should probably define as when you have to play something quiet, loudness lets you take one certain frequency range and sort of bump it up. So if you're listening to music, and if you ever see like a loudness button on an amplifier, that's when you turn your music down. Usually when you put loudness on, some of the frequencies that would not be audible anymore because you lowered the volume get bumped back up. And this lets you adjust it. So I was playing and I found that I liked like 47 hertz, and you bump like, you can go all the way to 200% loudness, wet, dry. So it's almost like you could add, it only goes up to 200 hertz and down to 30 hertz. But you could basically, instead of using the bass knob up here, which raises a whole swath of bass, you can just take a certain frequency and just peak a little bit. Just bring it back up. And that says, the Fletcher-Munson loudness curves are implemented. You can control the loudness, boost frequency, and wet, dry slider position to find less and more effect. So Fletcher-Munson is the definition. You could go to like Wikipedia and look that up if you really, really wanted to. But all you got to know is that could basically boost the bass or anything below 200 hertz in just a very, very delicate manner, to the point where I actually would probably use that a lot. Now that's something you can't get on like a portable player. You'd have to have all sorts of comfortable sliders, like maybe an M11 could do it. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Filters. Now I don't know if you can see that, but that is a 7, in fact let me go back and read the actual, oh, that's not what you want to look at. Let me go, I gotta hit back here. If I hit the filters thing, filters let you apply up to 7 biquads, parametric EQs, all pass filters, text biquad mode, low pass filter and high pass filter, both are Butterworth 2 or 4 order. Parametric EQ on off buttons, bypassing parametric EQ and all pass filters. So this is a parametric EQ. You get one, not multiple, but even the ones from the THX things don't give you this sort of control. Now I'm going to edit this one in a second, but I want to tell you what it is first. Let's get out of it. Continue along. Compressor. Flexible compressor expander dynamic range control requires some basic understanding to modify parameters successfully, blah, blah, blah. Options. Restore factory. You could rename it, so whatever it pops up in your Bluetooth, you could actually tell it what its Bluetooth name is, which is super nice. It could be Zeos's PowerDAC. It could be a PowerDAC. Restore factory. Change pairing code, because there's a pairing code. preset manager, clip settings, and advertise mode. I don't know what advertise mode is. I honestly don't. It just says either always on or after 1 minute off. So I set it to off after a minute because I don't like advertisements. Clip settings, clip threshold. I understand what clipping is. You understand what clipping is? When things get to like the peak, but doesn't tell me what that does. So it's just clip threshold. Now here's where it gets into the point where it's like, oh shit, Zeos, am I buying this? Preset manager. So just like Fubar has presets, this has presets. But they're not just willy-nilly presets like bass boost or treble raise. They're things like, well, it starts with no processing. Then it's got an AC/DC maximizer plus Harman curve EQ4, and it doesn't say because it cuts off. Can I edit this? I can't even see it because it cuts off. Again, it's got some issues. Compressor RMS limiter, compressor RMS maximizer, compressor peak limiter, compressor peak maximizer, compressor vinyl like. So if you want it to sound like vinyl where it actually compresses the source, you could do that. Diana Krall, turn up the quiet volume like it gets cut off. I literally don't know what else it says. Now here's where we get to the part where I think you guys are going to be like, These are all headphones that you could load an EQ curve to bring it closer to the Harman curve. The Harman curve, and I know I'm going to define this wrong, is supposed to be a perfect curve for human hearing. It's supposed to be what we want as people, I think. I don't research it, I don't get involved in it, I don't search for the Harman curve. But you could take what a headphone measures, like when you put it on a rig, and you could say, well, that isn't the Harman curve, but if we did this, we could get it to the Harman curve. And this has, built into it, this app can load into that via Bluetooth, HD 600s, 650s, 6XX, 800S, 400i, 400i. I'm sorry, 400i to Harman, or 400i to HD 800S. If you want your hyphen and 400i's to sound like HD 400S's, that's built into this app. HE 400i's to LCD2s. You want to sound like LCD2s? That's in here. HE 560s to the Harman curve. HE 1000s to the Harman curve. HE 400S to the Harman curve. Hyphen Edition X, Edition X V2, LCD2, LCD3, LCD4, LCDX, PM1s, PM2s, Sony MDR EX1000TO to the Harman curve, which they messed up and they couldn't spell that right. Focal fuck off utopias to the Harman curve. Iggy Azalea Sally Walker maximizer plus Harman curve. Is that a headphone? What is that? This one just says M1060. This one says Thiodio Phantom Vinyl 2. Thiodio Phantom Vinyl 2. And the other one has today's date. I understand exactly what they're going for. There was that company that was sending out EQ curves. You buy the software, literally loads the software in your computer, and it could just fix your headphones. So HD 600s are the only ones I have in that list. I don't have the Thiodio Phantoms here anymore, so they don't have the goddamn Utopias here. So I threw on my HD 600s. I wired them up balanced, like it has to be balanced. I'm feeding it signal from my computer, and I loaded it up. And all you gotta do is click it, boom. I already have it set. If I set something else, so I set 650s, you click it, it says set active, export or delete, set active. Are you sure you want to load it? Yes. It's about to get real loud. Because every time you load it, every time you load one, it takes that volume, which there's no buttons, so there's no volume control. I would normally be lowering and louding the volume with this, but since I have the app going, I was doing it that way. So now I've got it here. I'm gonna lower this down, 40 decibels. Go back to options. We're gonna go back to preset manager. We're gonna load the EQ for the 600s. Are you sure? It's loading the EQ for my headphones. We come out of this. We come out of this again. We go back to the volume. We lower it down to where it doesn't blow up. We got Tom Jones playing, Delilah. Wow, these sound really good. So now we can go to the filters setting, and I could show you, well, let me wipe off the screen because I'm Italian. And I hope that's bright enough for you. This is how they are EQing the HC600s to make them sound more like they belong on the Harman curve. And that's a pretty wild thing. Now, there's vertical dotted lines in orange. These are dulled out and this one's bright. It says Parametric EQ1, that's the first band. 24 hertz with a Q value, which is the width of the curve. In other words, a curve can be like really pointy, or you can smooth it out, or it could be a big lump. That's the Q value of 0.51. And we're adjusting a positive bump of 8 decibels at 24 hertz. So if you want to adjust the next one, you double tap. Okay, Parametric EQ2, 160 hertz, Q value of 1, -5. +3 at 2194 hertz. -2.5 at 4004 hertz. At nearly 7000 hertz, 10 decibel bump. And you know what? I'm sitting here listening to my headphones that I love, my HC600R, I love her headphone. And you'd think with a 10 decibel bump at 7000, I'd be offended. I'm kind of not. I had a couple songs where I was like, ooh, treble. But I could just take that. Let's say I don't like that peak. I just go like this. And you could adjust it any way you like it. This is one of the best ways to adjust an EQ I've ever seen. You want to make that wider. The Q value currently is 2. You take your 2 fingers and you do this. Now the Q value is 0.9. It gets wider. You see it getting wider, narrower. You want to slide it over. You just slide it over. We were at 7,000. Boop. Double tap that one. We are at 10,500 hertz, -8. Double tap the last one. 12,003 hertz, +6, up 6 more decibels. And then if you touch the arrow, you double tap the arrow, low pass filter is off. That would just low pass below that. So that's an incredible amount of like squeeze, lift, drop, slide, like wow. Tweak Freak. This, if you own an Army ADI2 and you love what it does, but you kind of want to do it on a laptop, just sitting around, you don't want to take your $1,000 DAC out, you buy this fucking thing for like 60 bucks. You plug it in, it gets rocket hot. It's hot. It's like almost too hot to touch. By the way, there's a single light there. Hi, eyeballs. How you doing? How you doing? Good? And then you pull up the app, and you just sit there and go, I wonder what happens if I do this. And then if I do, I don't know, move this one over here. Let's bring that way down, or spread it out. You can literally paint with your headphone EQ. I love this. You don't have, look, here's the best part. I love this thing. It's under $100. You don't have to have the fucking app at all. I just delved into the app and how much you could do corrections for headphones, and you could load presets, and I haven't even looked. I'm sure whatever headphones you think, this has been out long enough people have reviewed it before me. I wanted to make sure that you can get all the what presets you want. You can get presets for your headphone. Or just sit down and dick. Oh, one of the most interesting parts is if you hold on to a blank space, it says set background. And then it lets you dive into your thing. So let's see, hold on. Hold please. What's that? Yes, perfect. And then you get to put a background image. For some reason, someone said to me it's probably so you could put a measurement curve as your wallpaper and then move it around and then try to match it. But I mean, I could just put like funny comic books there. Boom. That's Alfred from Batman loading a shotgun because Alfred's about to shoot some people. I don't know where I got that, but it was great. And then you could just be like, and then you're done, and then there's your curve, and you can have a full wallpaper of anything you want. I don't know why that's a thing. I think the only reason would be to follow the curve. But you don't need to have it, and you can just shut it off. Parametric EQ off. There. And what do we have this? Now it sounds normal. Now it sounds like normal HC600s. All of that I just shown you, you could ignore. This thing on its own, all you do is you get it, you plug it in with a USB cable, you plug in a balanced and only balanced. You cannot buy this if you do not have a balanced connector for your headphones. If your headphones only have single-ended, Neumann's single-ended, you can't use them. These balanced can use them. Go like this. Oh, by the way, I have the volume. Let's see if I have that maximum. That's playing. Sundara's playing. That's full. I'm at negative 17 decibels, and that's like as loud as I ever need to push it. 8, negative 8 is like that's we are pushing volume. It's very peculiar. It's a very peculiar portable DAC. It's a dongle DAC. It's basically a dongle DAC. The only difference is you can't power it on its own. It will not power off a phone. You'll just suck a phone to death. You got to get that crazy power splitter and like a battery bank. So it's, if this had its own internal battery that lasted, I don't know, at this heat level, and it is a heat level we're at right now, 4 hours would be spectacular. Look at the reflection because of how shiny this thing is. If you're a tweak freak, if you have an Army ADI2 and you want to play with EQ curves for your headphones on the go, this is perfect. Literally can save every EQ you touch with. Great. It's all great. It's great. It's fucking great. But if you just need to plug in some headphones, unfortunately, unless they're balanced, you're really out of luck. I understand why it's balanced. You could read the thing on the back and it shows you everything that's going on with it. Why the pulse width modulator from the audio high-res interface with 50 PS jitter and the power stage left and the 36 gates and the power stage right with 36 gates and the 4-wire 3.5 volt RMS output. I love this thing, but you gotta really know if you can even use it. Do you have headphones? Headphones, not just IMs, headphones that run 2.5 millimeter that are balanced. Because if you have that, at least that's a start. And then you gotta go, well, am I using this on my desk or am I using this on my laptop? If you've never played with EQ on your stuff and you don't want to deal with software EQs and you'd rather have like your phone out, the fact that I can interface with that unit that has nothing to do with my phone right now on my phone, and I could raise and lower the volume. I mean, it doesn't let me play and pause the music. That would be kind of cool because it is USB. It could act as a remote control. And then you could throw loudness on. You're like, I know loudness here. I want to throw a little bit of bass boost in. And you know, I'm going to go to the filter settings and I'm going to totally just crank the shit out of it. Actually, what I have this on now. I have the high pass filter on. So it's only passing through 100 hertz and above. Then it falls off. Parametric EQ on, Parametric EQ off. There's that. Like, it's just got so many options to just dick with it. Let's go down. Let's just drop that. And here's the thing. That's 36 decibels. I don't know of another equalizer ever that lets you modify the signal up 12 and down 36. So, yes. Okay. It's a very peculiar piece of equipment. I love it. I'm absolutely going to carry it around with a little short cable, and I have enough headphones and enough of this headphone system that if I'm ever out of town and I take a headphone, I can't take that. Can't go single-ended. There's no 3.5 millimeter adapter. You cannot adapt an unbalanced headphone to a balanced amp. You'll blow shit up. The balanced amp has 4 things going to it. You'll be trying to touch 2 of them together and it's bad. You can plug a balanced headphone into an unbalanced amp because it just combines the grounds and it's fine. But you can't go the other way around. So you have to specifically need this thing balanced. You specifically need this thing able to suck power from whatever you're plugging into. I'm in a powered USB hub, so it's fine. This thing's burning up. It doesn't matter to me because it's not killing my battery. It's interesting. I would fucking love if other pieces of hardware, this Marantz, this is anything, literally anything. Look how simple this unit is. It's a block. It doesn't have a switch. But if all of these amps that I have sitting in front of me and all these DAC amp combos could just Bluetooth an app, and I could have this sort of power, this RME ADI2 power with any of them, that would change the landscape. Everyone would be EQing everything to the Harman curve, to sound like HG800S, to fix fucking problems. It'd be a wonderful world. This is a little bit scary in that. In fact, I'm thinking about maybe I should get a 2.5mm to RCA or 2.5mm to XLR. And then I could plug, I'd have to be XLR because I wouldn't trust RCAs to not bridge in the back. And then I could just use this as a DAC to feed an amp and then have this power. I think that's the Atari logo, by the way. Did they steal the Atari logo and turn it sideways? I'm pretty sure they did. I'm pretty sure they did. Anyway, I'm done talking about this because there's so much, it has so much potential to change things, but it's in such a strange form factor of like not self-powered, balanced only app, but you can't really use it on your phone. I mean, you can if you have like 9 wires and an extra backup battery to do it. $64 fucking dollars. How? The DAC itself is $59. A DAC with a USB cable is $64. I don't get it. I don't get it. Here, what's this thing? It's made by the same company. Here's another one by them, by E1DA. And it's the same thing. It comes with the same cable. It doesn't self-power. It's got a separate fucking takeoff. I don't get it. MMCX balanced. Why cable splitter? I really want to know who's designing this because it's got a beautiful sound. It sounds interesting. It sounds warm. And then you start fucking with EQ and it's like, oh, that sounds interesting and warm and different and maybe a little bit better. I actually liked what my 600 sounded like with the EQ filter they put on. Whoever made it, whoever tried to drag it to the Harman curve, bravo. But I had to stop talking about this now because I'm not done figuring it out yet. I'm sure you guys are not gonna be done figuring out. It's $60. It's AliExpress. Throw your money. Don't throw your money. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you figured it out. Hell, design your own curves and send them to people. That wallpaper in the description. This will probably not end up in a yard sale unless I'm desperate because I really want to play around with it a little bit more. But if you are part of the $5 or $10 patrons or higher, you get to the yard sale when I go to sell things. They end up in yard sales, and you get to bid on them from the 1st to the 10th of every month. If you're a $5 tier, you get to ask me any question you want. You get to see all these videos early, a week or two, probably more like a week. If you're in the $10 tier, you get to private Telegram chat. Private Telegram chat doesn't have to wait for my opinion on this. I'm gonna send them a picture of it. They're gonna be like, "What is that? What do you think?" Hold on the voice button. I'm gonna tell them. They also get to pick which reviews come out next and things like that. They're a nice little community of like 180 people. I think that's it. This tomorrow. Oh, I've been wearing this all day, trying to see if I enjoy how it feels. It's a little feel player in a little silicone thing. Look at that. Look how small the little feel player is. Yeah, we'll work on that. That's Bluetooth only. But it's not Bluetooth only, but when it's in there, it's Bluetooth only. Anyway, I'm done with this for today. I'm gonna upload this video to the interwebs and see if people cry. I'll see you tomorrow. Wallpaper. Peace.